This is the moment Republican Representative Lauren Boebert was escorted out of a performing arts theater in Denver. Surveillance video from inside the theater shows officials addressing Boebert and her companion during Beetlejuice the musical. In a report shared with CNN, theater officials said they received complaints about two patrons who were, quote, vaping, singing, and causing a disturbance. One official said, quote, the patrons were argumentative. And after another complaint was made saying they were, quote, being loud and recording, they were asked to leave. The individuals can be seen walking out of the theater and escorted out of the building. Boebert's name was not listed on the incident report, and theater officials would not confirm Boebert was the person escorted out. In a social media post, Boebert confirmed she attended the performance and she was, quote, guilty to laughing and singing too loud. Boebert's campaign manager said she denied vaping during the show, but did use her cell phone to take a photo of the performance in a statement shared with CNN. She also said she was, quote, unaware that photos were not allowed.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about the Lauren Boebert. Let me make sure I get this right here. Lauren Boebert story that is going viral, okay? Now, if you guys are not familiar with this story, essentially, Lauren Boebert initially went viral after she got kicked out of a Beetlejuice concert with her date. Now, the initial reporting on why she got kicked out was basically she was being loud, she was singing, she was vaping, and the theater didn't like that, and they removed her because of it. Now, Boebert initially denied vaping, but she did say she was guilty of having fun and, you know, singing or whatever in the middle of the performance. She didn't seem very remorseful or sorry about the fact that she got kicked out. Apparently, she tried to pull rank on the officials that kicked her out, basically saying, hey, do you know who I am, right? I'm a sitting congresswoman, you're kicking me out, blah, 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 right? That's allegedly what happened. And then the movie theater decided to basically call Lauren Boebert's bluff on the vaping and release the video, okay? And that video is now going viral, not because Lauren Boebert got caught lying about vaping, but because on this same video, she got caught with her date fondling each other in the theater, okay? So they're filling up on each other, okay? He's filling up on her chest and, you know, she's filling up between his legs.
Boebert. Say it 3 times and she appears in security video from a weekend performance of Beetlejuice, where the congresswoman was kicked out of the theater for being disruptive. The DCPA says she was vaping. Boebert's team denied that, said the haze was from fog machines in the show. That claim goes up in smoke when you see the video. The pregnant woman sitting behind Boebert told the Denver Post she asked her to stop vaping, and Boebert refused. Her one-woman show continued, taking flash photos, raising her hands and dancing, often the only one clapping or standing up in the crowd. Boebert occasionally took a break from being disruptive to enjoy the company of her male companion. He briefly had a grasp on the situation before ushers returned and told Boebert she had to leave. The theater's incident report says Boebert pulled the "Don't you know who I am" card on the way out, giving theater employees the single-finger salute.
As you can imagine, the left is having a field day.
Wait, did you hear what Lauren Boebert did? Oh my god, what did she do? She was kicked out of a theater because she refused to stop vaping in front of a pregnant woman, even though it caused a risk to her pregnancy. Well, that's not very pro-life of her. And at the same production, her and her date were literally groping each other in the theater. She made it to third base in a public theater? Yeah, and children were there. Okay, ew. And she violated public indecency laws for the state of Colorado. If convicted, she could serve a sentence of up to 6 months. Okay, so she's not pro-life, she's a groomer and a criminal. Yep.
Let me say this. I'm not the one to cast a stone and live in a glass home. You know, I'm very much let live and mind your fucking business. But here's the reality. When you post shit like this, take your children to church, not drag bars, attacking human beings who are just living their lives, expressing their freedom of speech just to make a living, or it's something like this. A North Carolina preschool is using LGBT flag flashcards with a pregnant man to teach kids colors. We went from reading Rainbow to Randy Rainbow in a few decades, but don't dare say the left is grooming our kids. Yeah, I got a problem with that shit. I got a big problem with your hypocrisy. Because what you're doing is you're insinuating that you're better than others because of some bullshit moral or religious compass, which is ridiculous when you're the one in an open theater in a show recommended for ages 10 and up, greasing up your unwedded date's monkey until he gets his gitchy gitchy yaya. That shit is crazy.
What is the lewdness law in Colorado? Lewd conduct involves exposing your bits, having intercourse in public, or self-pleasuring in public, or fondling another person is a violation of Colorado's public indecency and indecent exposure laws. Public indecency is a petty offense and indecent exposure is a misdemeanor. I would guess by this surveillance footage taken of Lauren Boebert and her friend at a Denver theater's performance of Beetlejuice, I feel like that qualifies. You can very clearly see him fondling her fun bags while she has her hand in his lap, giving him a massage. I'm sorry, I can't keep watching that. And I know that she's saying that this was all like out of her character, that she's like going through some shit because she's going, through a divorce, and that she like fell short of her values. If she can't handle just simply sitting in a theater and watching a production of Beetlejuice without causing a disruption, vaping, taking flash photography, which they say at the beginning of every performance, like, please don't take flash photography, and then groping and fondling and essentially having adult times in public, then what business does she have sitting in Congress?
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that, okay? First and foremost, I want to say this, okay? When it comes to liberal criticism of Lauren Boebert, I don't want to hear a damn thing that comes out of a leftist mouth when it comes to this situation with Lauren Boebert, because any leftist that is criticizing Lauren Boebert is a blatant hypocrite, considering how that whole damn party is on board with children being exposed to grown adults who are performing acts that you can define as sexual, who support kids being exposed to explicit books in school, who routinely support groups and individuals that do acts of degeneracy in public, whether we're talking about nudity, showing their genitalia. The right, basically for the last, 2 or 3 years, has been fighting against that, and we've been called bigots, right? We've been called bigots and homophobes and transphobes for essentially fighting back against what liberals are now complaining about from Lauren Boebert, right? Which is indecency in public. Again, the hypocrisy here is absolutely amazing. It really is. Again, these are the same people that are totally fine with children going to adult shows, right? They're totally fine with it. They're totally cool with that, being exposed to this type of stuff. And if you question it, you're a bigot. Now, all of a sudden, with Lauren Boebert, okay, and she gets filmed in a theater, okay, doing things with the person that she was with, her date, which, usually the left wouldn't have an issue with. They'd be totally fine with this type of behavior, right? Usually if you criticize, a woman for doing something like this, you're slut-shaming her, right? You're slut-shaming her. Now they pretend like they care about unborn children. Now all of a sudden they care about babies and the health of a baby and the life of a baby, right? Ain't it funny how that works? I don't want to hear anything from these people. These people have no room to lecture or talk to anybody on the right or to criticize Lauren Boebert for her behavior, because that is the type of behavior that they have supported, right? Again, they're only upset with it. They're only mad about it because, again, it's Lauren Boebert. And they're trying to call out the right for hypocrisy when there are a ton of people on the right who are actually criticizing Lauren Boebert for this, okay? They're going after Lauren Boebert. They're saying, look, this is not the best behavior, okay? You're not representing yourself in a way that makes the party or the movement look good or even serious. And we're going to talk a little bit more about this. I want to just go ahead and read some of this because, again, this is a fascinating story. You have some people that say, I don't care about Party Lordy. I'm not about to defend some 30-year-old spoiled brat acting like a teenager in a movie theater that just had her first beer. Lauren Boebert needs to get a grip. Megan McCain says Lauren Boebert is trash. She lectures everyone about the LGBTQ community being a threat to children while getting caught performing a lewd act in a public theater where children possibly were. This is family values. This is why people think the GOP are all hypocrites. And Kotar says, can't Colorado find some Republican not trashy and stupid to represent them in the 3rd congressional district? Yeah, so, again, you do have conservatives that are coming out and criticizing Lauren Boebert, and that's the difference between the left and the right. Okay, conservatives are willing to criticize their own when it is appropriate. Now, how do I personally feel about this situation? Well, this is how I feel about it. I think personally that considering the circumstances, the fact that she is a woman, that is a congresswoman, okay, she is held to a higher standard because she is a congresswoman. She's also in the middle of a divorce. She's not officially separated. She has 4 kids. She's a grandma. I just don't think this is a good look. Now, am I mad about her and her boyfriend, I guess? I'm not sure if that's her boyfriend. Her date getting frisky in the movie theater. Not all that much, okay? Because I'm aware that this is what people do, right? I mean, it is obvious that she's in that phase of her life that a lot of women go through after they get out of a long-term relationship with a man, right? We all know what that phase is called, right? It's the garden tool phase, right? She's clearly in that phase, okay? I mean, this is very, very, very normal for women, okay? And quite honestly, I'm not surprised, okay? I'm not surprised, okay? I'm not going into many more details about it, but I'm just personally not surprised to see it, okay, from her. But with that being said, I'm not one of these people that's like a super Puritan type of person, especially when it comes to my expectations of other people, because I acknowledge human nature, that we all fall short of the glory of God, and we're all sinners, okay? And you should attempt to sin less, but we're all going to sin and fall short, right? And that's just what it is, okay? So, you know, me personally, I'm looking at this and I'm like, I'm more upset about her causing a disturbance and not having more awareness that you are a sitting congresswoman and that you should carry yourself in a way in which you're not going to bring attention to yourself. You have to be aware that people are always watching you, right? And that you can't do stuff like this in public. There's a certain way you have to carry yourself. You have to hold yourself to a higher standard, especially as a conservative, right? The fact that she's not aware of that is more disappointing to me than what she actually did in regards to the Fondle stuff, right? I think just being an agent of chaos in public is worse, okay? Because with the Fondle stuff, I don't even think that was the issue, right? The issue is that she was being a disturbance, and that's why she got kicked out. She should have just used a jacket, right? Put a jacket over the thighs, over the waist, and go to town, right? I mean, that's what people do. That is what people do. I mean, this is what people do in public. Again, not my thing, but some people are really into the, you know, PDA, right? I would prefer people not to do it. And if you're going to do it, at the very least, be discreet about it, right? Use some more discretion. Okay? I'm just saying. But again, the reason why this, again, is such a big deal is because it's embarrassing to the conservative movement. I mean, look at this. You know, come to find out, the man that, you know, she's letting fill up on her is a Democrat. He's a Democrat that owns a gay-friendly bar that hosts drag shows. The left is having a field day with this. And ultimately, in the day, it kind of is an embarrassment to the movement. It makes the movement look less serious. It, you know, is an embarrassment to, you know, the voters, the constituents, and it's probably going to cost her position in Congress. But when I think about it from a traditional perspective, if she's replaced by another conservative, who knows? Maybe that could be the best thing for her, right? Because in the background, I can't ignore the fact that, again, even though it's really not my business, I'm just, you know, saying that, you know, she isn't officially separated from her husband, although she's divorcing him, and she got 4 kids, and she's a grandmother, right? So maybe as a woman, she may want to take a step back and probably maybe focus on that more, right? Because I kind of feel bad for her kids. I feel bad for her family, more so than I feel bad for her because of the embarrassment of having your mother, right, your grandmother on camera getting felt up on by a Democrat, right? I mean, again, a man that's not your father, okay, that's not in the family. Again, I feel bad for them, right? And I think that is what my main issue is, okay? I mean, look, when it came to the Democrat that got exposed for performing sexual acts for her husband on a campsite, I said, look, I don't think what's disqualifying is her doing it. What's actually disqualifying is the fact that she didn't want to take responsibility for it. The fact that she got caught and then she tried to pretend like she was the victim of some crime or somebody leaked it. No, it wasn't leaked. You posted it on the internet for the world to see. Own up to it. Take responsibility for it, right? I don't think the acting of itself, what grown people do behind closed doors, is disqualifying. It's just that when you put yourself in a situation where you get exposed to the public like that, you got to own up to it, right? And in this case with Lauren Boebert, this wasn't a leak. This was something that she got caught doing in public. And the reason why she got caught is because she was causing a disturbance. Had she not caused a disturbance, had she been more aware, you know, of herself and who she is, obviously she does know because she tried to pull rank, apparently, allegedly, this wouldn't happen. This wouldn't happen. So, you know, at the end of the day, you know, I'm not really trying to judge, okay, two adults get frisky with each other in public, even though I'd rather not see it. I just think that for me personally, it's really more about the fact that she was being a disruption and she wasn't aware enough not to put herself in this type of situation in the first place, a situation that really does kind of embarrass the movement and make the movement seem less serious as a whole. Again, it's one thing if this was something they were doing in their private home and they made a video or they made content that they didn't post online and, you know, it got leaked or, you know, her phone pictures got leaked or something. That's different, right? That's a whole different thing. Okay, I ain't, you know, I'm not trying to really judge people for what they do behind closed doors with their significant others. But when you put it out in the public like this, you know, and you don't have enough awareness to avoid putting yourself in these type of situations in the first place, I don't blame conservatives who have a problem with it. And, you know, ones that are saying, look, we can't just let this slide. And I also don't blame the ones that are like, you know what? The left is so much worse. We have other things to be more worried about than what Lauren Boebert is doing with her date in a movie theater or you know, whatever type of theater. We got more stuff to worry about than this. I agree on both of those things, right? Me personally, I just find this story to be fascinating. I don't blame the Democrat man for, you know, not being able to control himself, right? In that situation, considering the assets that he had at his fingertips, right? I'm just saying. But again, right place, right time. That was not the right place. That was not the right time. She should have been more aware of that. I just find this story to be fascinating. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.